coming to you from parts unknown. I hope everyone's doing well. I hope you're doing better than Prince Andrew in the can. Have you got Prince Andrew in the can? Yes, I do. Well, you better let him out before he suffocates. Remember those days, pre-caller ID, you could call up, is your refrigerator running? Ha, ha, ha. You better go catch it. Oh, yeah, I remember. But anyway, I digress. But so anyway, folks, shock the world. I'll go with that phrase. Everybody goes with that phrase, but I'm going to discuss what happened with that, and I'm going to discuss world events, but also a couple of dark things, shocking things that are being uncovered with the Epstein file that the regular news is not talking about, but I'm afraid they will be soon. And yeah, about safaris, about shipping containers, and other things that are not a shock to us, are not new to us. But no matter how many times you hear about it, it's still a shock. And is the world prepared for what is coming? Is the world prepared for what is going to be shown? They're going to have to be. They're going to have to be. Look at that face. I mean, does that look like a happy person? Big Bird might start singing. How many secrets do you think he knows? I hope you got a lot of good security, Prince. And no, you're not Prince Andrew anymore. You're just plain old Andy. But anyway, yeah, they picked him up. And here's a little meme that went around on his birthday. So anyway, yeah, maybe you want to put that on your meta page. But we're going to get into all the things I discussed. And I'll have to talk some of it in code, which, it'll work out. Don't worry about it. But anyway, let's see. I'll start this video. And you know what to do. And as you see on the screen, Franklin doesn't understand what's going on. Omar married her brother. That's coming to a head, too. We've got judges that are balling up their judicial fists and resisting and subverting the president of the United States and the political will of the American people. Wow, we got to do something about that and these rhinos too. But anyway, what do? I play some videos while people get settled in, get themselves a cup of coffee or a cold brouhaha or whatever is your want. And then we'll be like butter and get on roll.
Obama said the same thing, but the left has a problem when Donald Trump says it.
This is not controversial, folks. Do you remember a guy by the name of Barack Obama? So he was the president for 8 years, and this really wasn't that long ago. And here is what he said over the years. Listen closely to what he said about illegal versus legal immigration. Roll it.
Even as we are a nation of immigrants, we're also a nation of laws. Undocumented workers broke our immigration laws, and I believe that they must be held accountable. We all agree on the need to better secure the border and to punish employers who choose to hire illegal immigrants. We are a generous and welcoming people here in the United States, but those who enter the country illegally and those who employ them disrespect the rule of law, and they are showing disregard for those who are following the law. We simply cannot allow people to pour into the United States undetected, undocumented, unchecked, and circumventing the line of people who are waiting patiently, diligently, and lawfully.
Has Donald Trump called you for advice or talked to you at all? And first of all, you've given him some pretty good advice so far, if you have.
Yeah.
But has he called and talked to you? I would call him. I was
No, he hasn't.
You guys know what this represents? Well, maybe just a copy was, let's start with the copy for the storm.
What storm is
We have the world's great military people. I will tell you that. And we're not great either. Thank you all for coming. Thank you.
What storm, Mr. President?
You'll find out. But give us a hint in your hand. Thank you, everybody.
storm zone.
Yes, sir.
I'm going what storm is. And they have unsuccessfully tried to take down the wrong person.
And he's absolutely going to come back with full vengeance the next time around.
Now think about what 4 years of a retribution presidency might look like. Our Constitution really does give the president tremendous power to destroy. This will be something we could never have imagined.
Now the gloves are off.
Some of Trump's close political allies told him they are working on figuring out the identities of the FBI and DOJ staff and forming lists.
I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical DA and AG in America for their illegal, racist enforcement of the law. The deep state is destroying our nation, but the tables must turn and we will quickly destroy the deep state. We know where the bodies are buried. There are a lot of people out there that have done some very, very evil things, very bad things, I would say treasonous things against our country. People that have done such harm to our country. I've been looking at them for a long time.
He could order the investigation and prosecution of individuals who he perceives as enemies.
Put them all in jail where they belong. You gotta get tough and smart, and you have to fight fire with fire. You can't allow this to go on. And I will be the one to clean it up. I am your retribution. We will take care of it. We will take care of it.
Hi, folks. Thank you for joining me tonight. I appreciate it. It has begun. It has begun. No one could say that there hadn't been any Epstein arrests. This is something that traveled around the world like a lightning bolt. And the name Epstein is forever linked with it as to why he was arrested. Hi, Sissy. How you doing? Sherry, Todd. Nice to see you. Darla, Tammy, Cole. Nice to see you. Let's see. KNS. Nice to see you, too. Everybody's rolling in. Darla's here. Let's see. Rain. All right. Who we got coming in? Angel's here. And hello to my lurkers, by the way. Hello, Robin. How are you doing? Nice to see you. Always say hi to my lurkers and all my folks watching on Rumble. I do appreciate it. Remember to give me a thumbs up on both platforms. Thank you very much. It helps the video to get around. And if you hadn't hit the follow button over there on Rumble, do that for me. Do that for me. I appreciate it. Who am I missing? Let's see. Anthrax. Oh, Flannel Cheese. Yeah, nice to see you. Angel's here. Is Angela here too? I don't know. We shall see. I'm scrolling down. Got to try to catch everybody. Wayne's here. I know I got some thumbs ups. And, all right. Nice to see everybody showing up tonight. So anyway, I'll put this for those of you who are coming in, didn't see the little funny picture of where's that creep? Oh, I already threw him off out of the studio. Him sitting in jail with a birthday cake. His happy birthday. Here he is. In a car. What's going through his brain? What's left of his brain? You know, when Trump went over there and had that famous meeting with Queen Elizabeth before she passed, you know, the you-know-what hit the fan. He didn't just get stripped of his royal titles, his position in the military, kicked out of the family for what they used to call peccadillos, his peccadillos. That's what they would call a middle-aged man fooling around with a 17-year-old, especially over in merry old England. I mean, we've got common law going back hundreds and hundreds of years concerning people who are close to the age of 18, not quite 18. And, the age of consent for marriage, even here in the States, is below 18 in many states to get married. And people can petition the court to be emancipated earlier than 18. So the word was already on the street what he's done. Right now we're hearing that he's here. Let's see what some of the big news, so-called big news groups have put out. Here they got him. Britain's Andrew Mountbatten Windsor arrested. Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. Britain's Andrew Mountbatten Windsor had been arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office. Well, that sounds kind of cheesy, but it can get him life in prison. And just so y'all know that I'm not crying wolf or exaggerating, I got a few screenshots I'll show you. Other news organizations put that up. Police had previously said they were assessing evidence in relation to the revelations in the so-called Epstein files. Now they're saying it's the so-called Epstein files. That's very interesting, CNN. The so-called Epstein files. We'll have to remember that that's what you're calling it now. What are you all off balance? You can't really get a narrative together? Let's see, MS Now, formerly known as MSDNC. They just got a picture of his showing off his figure there. I guess, I don't know. MS Now breaking. The Thames Valley Police say Andrew Mountbatten Windsor has been arrested on suspicion of public misconduct while in office. Officials say they are, quote, assessing reports that the former prince sent trade reports to Jeffrey Epstein in 2010. Trade reports? Huh. I wonder if that's got anything to do with tariffs. I don't know. But we'll find out more. It seems very innocuous, but it is very serious. And I've talked about in the past, when they're discussing Queen Elizabeth, what Trump said to her and what they discussed, that a lot of the things that we were finding out about them trying to overthrow Donald Trump, about them participating in the Russia hoax to overthrow the government, are acts of war. And so we're going to find out more. So he did more than just some goofy trade stuff. But anyway, here is just to show you King Charles could abdicate over ex-Prince Andrew's Epstein ties. Now we know Charles is reportedly suffering from cancer, and there are rumors that he has become a Muslim, and it didn't seem like he was long for the throne anyway. And his bizarre actions, like giving that land in Canada back to the natives, supposedly, which I don't think he has the legal authority to do. He's a figurehead. I would imagine that would take an act of parliament or something. But it's destroyed the home values of thousands of people in Canada with that dopey exercise. And we have Keir Starmer trying to give away the Caicos Islands or engage in a lease where we have a base, and that's causing a lot of pressure and stress. We'll talk a little bit more about that. I think Keir Starmer, his hands were shaking for a reason when the Epstein files came out. And he's got something to do with it too. And I think he's trying to get some leverage before he gets his rear end arrested. Keir Starmer and his lieutenants, aides, or whatever you want to call them. They're saying this could topple the entire British government. Now, we're seeing these reports with these soft peddling statements. Well, he did some misconduct and da 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 da. Oh, they don't mention life in prison. Former Prince Andrew could face maximum sentence of life in prison. Not only that, there were other reports from credible news services in their thumbnail titles that he committed treason. If it's determined he's committed treason, he'll be charged. So those things are on the table. You're talking about the king abdicating the throne. You're talking about the prime minister being ousted from office with trembling hands, along with many other members of his government. So, hi, Angel. Yeah, I said hello. Miss Mindersue. I said hello to Miss Mindersue, too. And who else? Pappy Two Bears is here. All right. So this is much more of a explosion, if you will. Hi, Phil. Nice to meet you. Yeah, what a time to be alive. Isn't that true? Hi, Tammy. Nice to see you. Colette, nice to see you, dear. Rebecca's here. All right. What a time. How many people do you think have existed on the face of this earth? Of course, it's billions and billions and billions. Over how many thousands of years? This is comparable to the tectonic changes that were seen 2 millennia ago at the time of Christ, throughout the time of Charlemagne. It's just, as they've said, biblical. And here we are. Here we are. We're here for a reason, we were told. And we don't know how long all of us will go through this entire exercise. We just don't know. Hi, Elva. Nice to see you. Randy, nice to see you. So anyway, life in prison, treason, his brother abdicating the throne, and Keir Starmer, government being overthrown. So, let's see. Here's something else. Y'all heard of this guy? Lord Peter Mandelson. A former cabinet minister and member of the House of Lords who resigned. He is under police investigation for allegedly passing sensitive government information to Epstein. He has not been arrested. What did Epstein need with all that stuff? We saw Hillary wiggling, squirming around on the interview hot seat. I didn't really know him. He was just helping out with charitable works. How much information did they give away? Something to put in your meta. Remember all the money for Haiti? Clinton's raised for Haiti. Neither do the Haitians. So is it coming out in a slow enough drip for people to start grasping that we've had a corrupt situation for years and years? Georgia, Trump went to a steel plant in Georgia. I thought he was going down there for a rally, but I think he was going down there to rub it in all their faces in Georgia. They're on the ropes. They're on the ropes. We're finding out hundreds of thousands of ballots were fraudulently entered. People have said many times that they're just waiting to be arrested, that they've been told by inside sources that they're going to get arrested. And here comes Trump touting the great economy. And this is benign. As much as it's shocking everyone, people have said this is the first member of the royal family to be arrested in hundreds of years. Now, I said, well, gee, I'm not an expert on the royal family, but were they talking about Charles the First? Is that the last royal to ever be arrested? You all know what happened to Charles First, don't you? They said, well, he wants to wear the crown on his head. Okay. Put it on his head. Now off with his head. And that's what happened to him. Whoa, what in the world is going on here? Off with his head. What is this, clandestine? Let's see what he's got to say. He popped up on my screen. The State of the Union address is Tuesday the 24th. Oh, I'm waiting for that day. Now they say they're going to shut down Congress. They're going to shut down the government to keep Trump from giving his State of the Union. I don't buy into it. I'm not going to get antsy about it. And also they're saying that Trump is going to drop some mega bomb. I think if it goes exactly the way it's going, where Trump is above the fray, but you can tell that he's a guiding hand, a mature statesman-like handling the blowback, the emotions, keeping this country on a steady course of prosperity and progress, at the same time making sure justice is done. However he handles it, I'm ready for it. I won't be disappointed if he doesn't drop a mega bomb. I'm not expecting Congress to be shut down. Donald Trump will give a message. Okay? So we'll wait and see. Trump will aim to have supreme optics going into the address. If Trump has any cards he wants to play to improve his optics, this weekend will be his final window to shape the narrative heading into the address. Stay frosty. Well, Trump commands media attention whenever he wants it. And I'm sure it's been very well thought out. And there are so many different things happening on the horizon. But here is who's going to give the response to the State of the Union address. This individual who, out of nowhere, never heard of her. Never heard of her. You had Glenn Youngkin, a Republican, in the Virginia State House. And the Republicans are just ousted. Ousted. When Trump's poll numbers were high, people were waking up to trans insanity and all the other stuff. How did she come out of nowhere and become the governor? Well, I remember Trump saying one of the biggest shocks was when they allowed all those verifiably false votes to go against him in 2020. But that's okay. We'll keep going. She's going to give a State of the Union address. But this is the same Abigail Spanberger. Who is pushing for Virginia public schools to have as part of their curriculum January 6th narratives that are propaganda and totally backwards as to what the reality of that day was. She's the same person who wants to tax people's lawn care items. She's the same person who's proposing a bunch of massive increases in utility bills and tax increases overall, and a lot of new gun control regulations, One being if you don't have 5 acres or more than 5 acres. I'm not sure. It might be if you just have 5 acres or less, you can't shoot your gun. You have to have more than 5 acres. Something, which would basically make it illegal for anybody to do any training or anything like that. So we'll see what happens with that. In my little dark spot in my heart, I'd like to have her arrested when she's coming out to give the rebuttal for election fraud. Wouldn't that be nice? But anyway, we can't arrest people just for being a commie, although we should consider it. Did you all see this? This was today. This is the Department of Justice. They were seen putting this banner on the building. What is this banner? Wait a minute. Hi, Lori. Nice to see you. Sparky. Brett, nice to see you. Let's zero in here. What does it say? Let's see. Justice. You got Donald Trump. Make America safe again. All right. Well, I'm not sure what all the words say, but it's definitely a something for all the recalcitrant liberals that are still in D.C. to drive by and look up and see. Whoa, wrong one. Wait a minute. There we go. So anyway, how many people? I want to wait. I want to get into some stuff about shipping containers. Remember we talked about the elites doing little hunting parties in the Black Forest. I don't want my broadcast to suddenly disappear, so I'll be careful with that. We're going to talk about that in the future, okay? Just want to let you all know. So anyway, let's see. Trump went and spoke at the Board of Peace. And this was before whatever his name, Andy. I'll just call him Andy. Here's Donald Trump. What do y'all notice? What do y'all notice as he's getting ready to post for a picture? What caught your eye? Anybody know in the chats what caught their eye? Want me to play it again? Ha ha ha. Purple tie. Ha ha. Oh, was Gloria playing? Oh, I forgot to mute it. I'm going to get a stir Ike. Oh, darn it. Well, yeah. Sissy, yeah. Todd, purple tie. Cole. That is, as we've discussed in the past, the color of royalty. Yes, Sissy. And within hours of this little video, Goofball got arrested. Goofball got arrested. So let's see what this is. Here we go. Here we go. Here's the Fox News report. They're not going to replace the UN. They're just going to make the UN less influential, and the UN is going to be more like a janitor, and the Board of Peace is going to be the executives in the whole operation.
President Trump is hosting the first Board of Peace meeting. He will be speaking in just a little bit. You can see there Marco Rubio there. 40 nations are represented at this inaugural meeting. We will be right back with more on that as well. In the meantime, there's also this.
So let's see what President Trump had to say. I got a couple of clips. I could have got more clips, but I'm sure you'll see the salient ones many times over. Anyway, let's see what he's got to say here.
And one of the keys to it was when we took those beautiful, magnificent, we just ordered 22 more of them, updated model. The B-2 bombers are incredible. I never understood the B-2 bomber. I'd watch, it's a wing. And I've never quite understood that, Johnny. I'd look at it, I'd say, it's beautiful, but what does it do? It carries very big bombs. And it went into Iran, and it totally decimated the nuclear potential. And when it did, when it decimated that, all of a sudden we had peace in the Middle East, because there was a black cloud hanging over the Middle East, and if that wasn't done, that cloud would have been there. And countries like Saudi Arabia, countries like Qatar, countries like, nobody could have signed. You would have had that threat. Nobody could have had, you couldn't have had peace in the Middle East. So now we may have to take it a step further, or we may not. Maybe we're going to make a deal. You're going to be finding out over the next probably 10 days.
Okay, so we're going to be finding out over probably the next 10 days. And you can tell they're shaking in their boots. So he's put a window that goes beyond the State of the Union for negotiations or some very harsh action against Iran. And I have no doubt in my mind that if they do not comport to the will of the great and powerful Donald J. Trump, that they will get their head smacked. And he's going to make it very permanent damage. Yes, Ms. Vendersu, we're taking that color back. As we all know, they had a purple color revolution. That's what they have going on right now. Did he say Keystone at the beginning? I couldn't really hear it. Y'all replay it. See, I'd be curious if he said the word Keystone. Here's that picture of Andy. I thought I got out of the studio. Happy birthday, Your Majesty. Tonight's meal will consist of noodles of ramen. Enjoy. Now I can kick him out of the studio after you all get a screenshot and post it on your meta page. So anyway, here's Donald Trump once again. Let's see what he's talking about here. Oh, look at poor Andrew. Look at him. Look at him. I'm so scared. Somebody help me. So anyway, let's see what Donald Trump's got to say.
Important. I believe it's the most consequential board, certainly in terms of power and in terms of prestige. There's never been anything close, because these are the greatest world leaders. Almost everybody's accepted, and the ones that haven't will be. Some are playing a little cute. It doesn't work. You can't play cute with me. But they're playing a little bit. But they're all joining. Everybody, most of them very immediately. A few that we really don't want because they're trouble. Take care of them. But this is the most prestigious board ever put together.
A lot of them are playing cute. You don't play cute with me. And he said, yeah, they want to cause trouble. We'll take care of them. Who's talking about France? He's talking about Canada. And Keir Starmer farting around with his shaky hands over the former prince being arrested and his being involved with Epstein. Yeah. Look at him. Look at him. Oh, my gosh. Oh, you lost your connection. I'm sorry to hear that, Sparky. But you always have the replay. You always have the replay. You can play stuff over and over again. You can even take clips and share clips. I know I'm long-winded. You can't share it all sometimes. Here's the Telegraph. They put this out. Government is yet to give consent for the U.S. to use military bases in UK to launch bombing runs because of concerns they would breach international law. Well, Keir Starmer, I think a lot of what was going on Epstein Island breached international law, got a lot of nerve, but I don't think we're too worried about that. We got so many allies over there. Trump's got so many allies and so many bases, and don't you worry. We won't forget, okay? We won't forget, especially if you start wanting to mess around and you crizzle, which we all know you do. You want to provoke. You want to provoke. We'll see how far it goes. So, Telegraph put something else out about Trump. I have to get to it when I get to it. Let me see. I'm just scrolling through. Let's see. Here's what they're doing over there. We've got more hardware heading their way. The U.S. Air Force continues to increase its fleet of refueling aircraft in the Middle East. 5 KC-135RT refueling aircraft took off from McConnell Air Base in Wichita, Kansas, and are heading to Moron Air Base in Spain. Well, see, Keir Starmer, we don't really need your bases. I don't know how many bases you have beyond your territory proper, but we're proceeding without you, with or without you. To join the EU, European Union, Ukraine must recognize same-sex marriages and protect the rights of LGBT people. The European Commission reminded, as if this were the least of Kiev's problems. So, apparently, they don't get the hint after Hillary made an idiot of herself and these other nations pretty much called them out about that, their proclivity for propagating that lifestyle in other people's cultures. But here's Lavrov. We hadn't heard from him in a while, but I didn't get the video because it was in Arabic script and Russian speech and little tiny English subtitles. So I just went with the translation, which is close enough. I listened to it. We're not looking for wars. We don't want wars. And he's talking about the provocations from France and the UK and Germany. They're provoking in many ways. He said, we're doomed to live together with Europe. Doomed to live together with Europe. And that's mostly because of the not only the attempts to prop up Ukraine and that corrupt government there, but also their support of what we just discussed, same-sex marriages. Of course, there'll be transitioning children and the LGBTZB crap. So anyway, he said, but if they want war, then the war will be waged differently and by different means. Whatever that means, it ain't good for them. I can tell you that. This was forwarded, I found interesting, because there was some communications between Macron and some leaders in Syria and stuff. I'm not sure what was going on. It sounded fishy to me, but the United States and allied coalition forces thwarted near catastrophic prison break of 6,000 ISIS fighters in Syria, Fox News reported. Which one was it Ilhan Omar said makes her heart flutter? ISIS or ISIL with an L? I'm not sure. But anyway, somebody was planning something that didn't go very well for them. It is reported that 24 out of the 36 F-16 fighter jets deployed to the Middle East are in the configuration of the F-16CJ Wild Weasel. Have any of you all heard of this type of plane before? A special modification for breaking through air defense systems. The key feature of these fighter jets is the guidance system. I'm not reading all that. HARM targeting system, underwing containers capable of passively detecting air defense radar emissions and guiding missiles towards them. Two different types. AGM-88 HARMs or 88E ARGMs. In addition, the F-16CJ is also equipped with electronic warfare underwing containers. ALQ 184 for deploying active jammers to suppress radar tracking and guidance of air defense systems. The image is illustrative. I'll put it up. Hi, Jerry. How you doing? Have you all ever heard of these types of planes that they're discussing with this particular defense capabilities? Let me see. Where is the picture? Here it is. Right here. That's the first picture I've seen of them. Detection systems. That's what's strapped to the belly of that plane. Along with some serious firepower, I'm sure. So anyway, they're definitely bringing out everything they need or feel they need to deal with the Iranians when the time comes. Will it be before or after the State of the Union? Here we go. The U.S. is demanding that Ukraine not be allowed to attend the NATO summit, which will take place in Ankara this summer. This was reported by Politico. 2 foreigners were detained in Georgia for attempting to acquire radioactive substances. Hi, Tennessee. How you doing? They were trying to purchase uranium and cesium-137 for $3 million to export to another country, said Lasha Magradz, a representative of the Georgian State Security Service. The investigation in this case is being conducted under the charge of terrorism. Well, that's a little unnerving if they're going for radioactive substances. Here's a clip of how things are going with Zelensky, how he's doing with his attitude. Let me find it. Here we go. Piers Morgan. You know, we have a board of peace, Zelensky. We're trying to work out a deal. We're sending people all around the world, having conferences and meetings to get the war to stop. What are you going to do to help?
And I can definitely speak about it and etc. But I don't need to waste time on historic issues, reasons why he began, all this, I think, bullshit, what he's raising with Americans and etc. That it's not simple things about the Peter the First and etc. I don't need it, because for end this war and to go to diplomatic way, I don't need all this historical shit.
Okay, so he's telling everybody to go screw themselves, and I don't think it's going to work out too well for Zelensky. And we shall see. We shall see. So anyway, in response, he had Medvedev call Zelensky a useful idiot. The longer he is in power, the less territory Ukraine will have. they put that in quotes because Ukraine's never been declared an independent state ever in history. I've already been over that. For 1,000 years, it's been ping pong back between Poland, Russia, Germany. Anyway. Hi, Lori. Stilettos. Yeah. Hi, Graybeard. Nice to see you. Let's see. I'm seeing if I missed anybody. I don't think I have. But anyway, they just don't want to deal with this kind of crap over there. The SAVE Act will harm women voters like myself. Remember this thing? I played the video with Hillary over there in Europe talking this garbage. They just don't want it. The European Commission has confirmed the cessation of diesel fuel supplies to Kiev by Hungary and Slovakia and is analyzing this situation. Now, that would be, I know Hungary is Viktor Orban, who just met with Donald Trump not too long ago at the White House. And Slovakia, is that the one who they shot 5 times, the assassination attempt? What was his name? FICO. Is that right? With Slovakia? So they're putting the heat on Ukraine. So that wraps up the Ruski news for right now. Oh, except one more report. The last report I saw. I find it interesting that the Ruskies are putting this up. The U.S. trade deficit with China has fallen to its lowest level in more than 20 years. Yeah, good. So back to Andy. I put Shock the World on the thumbnail because, I used to say it too. Everybody said it. The first arrest will shock the world. And I said, well, I checked the CUE board and I put in the word arrest. And it's actually that the first arrest will verify action and confirm future direction. Okay? And you can put arrest in and just the word arrest, and you'll see some interesting things. I think it's about 9 posts with the word arrest, and 2 of them are repeats, this being the one that's repeated. First indictment, in brackets, unseal, will trigger mass population awakening. So, is this the one that's unsealed? Or are they only talking about U.S. indictments? But this definitely triggers a mass population awakening. This is international eye-popping out of the people's heads. And when they see just about all the reports saying because of his actions and disclosures from the Epstein files, people are going to start digging. First arrest will verify action and confirm future direction. They will fight, but you are ready. Marker 9 in brackets, 9. So just to show you, but I still like the shock the world. The shock the world part. Now, when people start hearing and seeing, I tell you, I got to put this picture up, though. Gold medals coming the way of patriots. People who love our... Look at that gold medal hanging off her. Isn't that pretty? Showing the flag. The losers that were bashing America, one of them came in 13th, somebody else fell on their face. Isn't that ironic? And you got these patriots that are winning. How about if I leave that up for a bit? I think I will. I'll take bug-eyed Andy down and leave this pretty young lady up there. Yeah, Todd, nobody's safe if they can arrest a royal. Even though he's been stripped of his titles, he's on the bloodline, you know? The bloodline. But anyway, now, so people are, oh, here we go. Here's another one right here. Here we go. You know, her family was persecuted after Tiananmen Square, and they fled from China, and she came here. And now she's winning the gold. Alyssa Liu has won gold, delivering Team USA's first Olympic medal in women's figure skating in 20 years. Oh, gee, our trade deficits. That's back when we had a lower trade deficit, right? So there she is. Congratulations. And we had the where's Rudy Giuliani put up a post about women's, here he is. Rudy Giuliani put up, USA wins gold over Canada in overtime 2-1. God bless American women who come from behind to prove they're the best in the world. I want to see Rudy Giuliani get a chance at taking a shot at these creeps after what they did to him and Trump in Georgia. We may get to see that coming. We may get to see that coming. I got some clips of Trump when he went to a McDonald's in Georgia. Here's an American hockey player that's not playing along with the media and their BS, trying to get him to say something derogatory about whatever's happening in America. He's not falling for it.
Hell of a game out there. You took down the game winner. I mean, what did that feel like?
Yeah, just a relief. Just really enjoying being here with this group and the guys, and trying to extend it as long as I can.
Right on. And then USA flags all over the place. You could hear the chants. Yeah. What's that atmosphere like?
Yeah, it's special. I mean, I love the U.S. and it's the greatest country in the world. So happy to represent it here with these guys, and it's really special.
Nice. Last one. What are you taking from tonight into Slovakia?
I don't know. I think you just want to move on and be ready to go and get your feet up the next 24 hours and then be ready to go.
Right on, man. Thank you.
Can you tell us what you saw in that final play?
I mean, just tried to create some space for myself and, was able to get it to my forehand and get a shot off.
Thank you.
USA is the greatest country in the world. Here we go. I didn't get a chance to watch this clip. I just uploaded it. Let's see what happens. Let's watch it together. A lot better than seeing them sit down on their rear ends when the anthem is playing, or sitting there putting their fists in the air instead of saluting or singing along. Let's see here. What's this? Another clip I didn't get to watch. What's going on here? Well, let's hope it keeps going. And I'm glad they're putting their patriotic foot forward, not falling for a lot of garbage from the left. But anyway, let's see. If I got any more clips, I'll play them. But I want to talk about the world awakening to the name of Epstein and the Epstein files. This is interesting because a lot of people are saying the FBI is not the final word. The FBI doesn't have everything. And a lot of people that have been demanding the files be released have limited themselves to saying, we want the FBI to release everything. Well, the C.I.A. has probably got a lot more dirt, a lot more dark stuff going on. And this is being addressed by Laura Logan.
Nancy Mace said she said in an interview with the guy Jim Ferguson, she says to him, because he asked her what's next, and she said she lists a bunch of things, and one of them she says is she's going to be calling for the CIA to release their Epstein documents.
Yes.
And he says to her, "Do you know that they have files on Epstein at the CIA?" And she says, in a firm voice, "Absolutely, yes, I do." So that's my thing is, why are we going on only about the Department of Justice?
This is true.
If anything, this, you can see the hand of the intelligence agencies. This wasn't being run by DOJ was involved in the cover-up.
Right.
Heavily involved in the cover-up.
Okay, so the Department of Justice publicly released millions of documents. I mean, they say up to 3 million since our episode. There's 300 individuals whose names appear at least once in the record, so they released these names. But as far as the blackmail and intelligence claims, Epstein, they're claiming he ran a honeypot blackmail operation. Intelligence agencies knew about their operation for years. It was
Come on. It's so painful. I'm sorry. I can't let you work through it. If intelligence agencies know about an operation like that, they're exploiting it. If they possibly can.
No, they're behind it, right?
Or orchestrating it, or exploiting it, or both. Look, the thing about it is that Epstein wasn't that bright. You would have to be, I don't know.
Well, he thinks he was. Read some of his emails. He thinks he's one of the...
Well, he's very arrogant and smug and looks down on people, but that doesn't make him super smart. He certainly wasn't smart enough to run this empire. They plucked him out of nowhere, just like they plucked people like AOC out of a bar.
Yeah.
I got really attacked when I posted on that years ago. They hate it when you point it out, that they pull these candidates, they're Manchurian candidates in a way they're created. They don't.
He's like a Zuckerberg. He's the front person. He's a.
Now Epstein obviously was, he was pretty evil and dark.
Yes.
He was a willing participant, and he was, over the years. I mean, he was an asset for a very long time, right? By some very sophisticated people. He wasn't dumb. He learned from them. But to think that he created all of this himself, was running all of it himself, I mean, that would be ridiculous.
Yeah, the CIA connection. So we're going to get into some of the darker things that are in the Epstein file that have been released, and we have to realize and start letting people know that there's going to be a lot darker things released other than what we're going to go over right now. But by the way, this is a totally viewer-supported channel. I don't have commercials if you haven't noticed. I'm a totally viewer-supported channel. I'm not monetized on YouTube, and I have a Buy Me a Coffee, which you see the QR code on the screen. And I also have a link in the description, which I don't think you can click on, but I would appreciate it if you give it a try. Or Goggle Mountain Man. Buy Me a Coffee Mountain Man. And my... Yeah, I'm not able to enter anything into the chats. Very disturbing. But anyway, so you use the QR code or go to Buy Me a Coffee Mountain Man. You'll see Donald Trump's silhouette in the bat signal, and you'll know you're at the right page. And as Miss Mendersue said last night, save the link once you get there. It makes it easier. And anything you do to help an old man out will be greatly appreciated. So anyway, folks, 2 distressing stories, courtesy of Christina Aguaya. Who is this person? You know Epstein, but who's the female in the screen? Do any of you know who that female is on the screen? The emails are a little too blurry, but they are in the release that has just been completed. And let's hope that I don't find myself in any trouble for putting this out. If I disappear, I will try to come back up again. If something bad happens and I'm on Rumble and I have my secret channel, which I can't discuss right now, but I'll be around somewhere. Christina Aguaya on the hunt. Epstein files reveal that Epstein and his elite friends allegedly hunted humans at night on his private island. As I discussed earlier in the broadcast, we've known about Black Forest activities, right? Black Forest activities. Same type of thing, hunting people. I talked about that gonzo journalist that was on David Letterman and was a character in Doonesbury, Hunter Thompson. He talked about the same thing, that he enjoyed it. Epstein's emails released in the latest Epstein file dump appeared to detail the, quote, hunting of black people at night for sport. One email includes a message from Ariane de Rothschild. That's who you see in the picture. That is who's there. I didn't see any guesses of it. Good guess, Mr. Minister. A princess. She thanked Epstein for a, quote, thrilling hunt, followed by references to a snipe hunt that ended with black victims being killed. Wonder if they're from Haiti. You think they were may have been from Haiti? Like Hillary said, Jeffrey was helping with the Haiti initiative, the Clinton Foundation. In October 24, 2016, email chain with Rothschild. Quote, thanks, thrilling hunt, unquote. Now it's going to be Lena's party we're hunting, unquote. The email ties into talks of, quote, amazing old male and amazing hunt, implying human targets. Let me see which one this is. Yeah, there's one more page I got to put up before this one. Let's see if this is it. Oh, that's about Andy. I'll get to him in a minute. We'll talk about Andy in a minute. We already talked about him enough, I think. Oh my goodness. This is what I got to be careful about, folks, because they use language that is universally rejected. Anyway, a related message in the same data set reads, snipe hunt is over. Moon crickets in field bag. Quote, moon crickets is a racist slur for black people. Guess what? They're the N-word. Ariane de Rothschild, born Ariane Lagner, is a French-Israeli banker who became the chairwoman and CEO of the Edmond de Rothschild Group, a Swiss private banking powerhouse managing billions in assets for the ultra-wealthy. She married into the Rothschild banking dynasty through her late husband, Benjamin de Rothschild. She's worth billions. That's with a B. And had a personal and professional relationship with Epstein from at least 2013 until his 2019 arrest. According to the files, she sent Epstein hundreds of emails, repeatedly met him in New York and Paris, and even paid millions for financial services. Have you heard any news agency put this out about moon crickets and night hunts of human beings? When do you think they're going to put it out? Trump put out a post where he said, we need more independent reporters. The mainstream media just isn't cutting it. How many of you all remember this disgrace? $1984. See those shipping containers? I remember this. It was reported one time, and it did cause outrage. And a statement by then President Ronald Reagan. Again, Christina Guaya. She puts things in a synopsis. I would recommend you subscribe to her and share these reports with your friends. A report from 1980s Los Angeles. Oh my gosh. About thousands of aborted fetuses being found in shipping containers is back in the spotlight after the latest Epstein file dump. Why were there thousands of little human bodies in shipping containers? It's back in the spotlight. I haven't heard anybody in the news report about it. I remember in the 80s briefly hearing about it, and it did cause outrage. In 1982, a repossessed 20-foot shipping container was found to have thousands of preserved so-called aborted fetuses. According to the report, the bodies of the babies came from the home of Malvin Weisberg, a pathologist who owned a now defunct medical lab in Santa Monica. The babies were allegedly, quote, fetal remains, unquote, from hospitals and were used for pathological testing. Pathological testing. Are we talking about gain of function? When was Fauci started? He started in the 80s, didn't he? With the AIDS virus. The container had more than 16,000 of the, quote, aborted babies and embryos preserved in formaldehyde jars along with medical records. Are we going to hear about this anywhere else? On any news? The employees of the Martin Container Company who discovered the bodies of the babies. The men were physically sick, emotionally distraught, shocked, and said they never wanted to see what they witnessed again. The story quickly made headlines, catching the attention of President Ronald Reagan, who called it a national tragedy. Think about it. Nameless, no identity, just nothing but medical experiments. No charges were filed due to California's abortion laws at the time, and the district attorney dropped potential charges in 1983. I thought it was 1984, but all right. Now, after the Epstein files have been made public, complete with horrific allegations against children, some are claiming that there may be more to this shipping container story and are calling for the case to be reopened. The bodies of the babies were eventually buried in 1985 after a legal battle over their disposal. Well, they went from shipping containers to Planned Parenthood being within, I think it's every large Planned Parenthood was within a couple of blocks of a FedEx. So we got two big stories out of the Epstein files that concern the dignity of humanity and evil actions by people on a large scale. The wealthy of the world conducting hunts for their pleasure. Whoa, wait a minute. Who else got in? So let's see what kind of trouble I get in. They'll blame the music Gloria for taking my video down. Hi, Roland. How you doing? Anyway, let's see if anybody else talks about it. Here's what they're doing. Here's what we have in our country. You got this young lady holding up the flag with a gold medal, and then you got this trash in front of the White House. In front of the White House. At least they're not all wearing masks. But here's what they did with an effigy of Donald Trump and Palestinian flags and who the hell knows what other kind of flags around. That's what they were doing today. By the way, the Board of Peace has already gathered $8 billion to help rebuild Palestine. They're just getting started. These clowns don't know what the hell they're talking about.
Stand by Gaza side by side. We stand by Gaza side by side. Gaza will be liberated. It's not complicated. It's not complicated.
There you go, snipers, baby.
We'll be liberated. We will free Palestine within our lifetime. Within our lifetime. Right now, in this building behind us, heads of states and billionaires from around the world are here for the inaugural meeting of the so-called Board of Peace for Gaza. The stated objective of this meeting is to raise funds for the reconstruction of Gaza, which is a thin veil to hide the colonial aspirations of the board. The board actually plans to achieve the political goal that Israel failed to accomplish militarily over the past 2.5 years. Total domination of Gaza. Shame! Shame! Board of Peace, Board of Wise!
I'm finished with this. People that have no benefit to society, they don't contribute to anything. I don't know if y'all can hear me over that crap. I said people that pay no benefit to society, don't contribute to anything, out there carrying on like that. Like I said, Trump and other members of the Board of Peace got $8 billion together already. Oh, did you hear about, I played that video of Obama talking about UFOs. Here's Trump on Air Force One. He was asked about that. You know what his response was? Ha ha ha.
Something that got a lot of attention this week. Barack Obama said that aliens are real. Have you seen any evidence of non-human visitors to Earth?
Well, he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that. You know?
So aliens are real?
Well, I don't know if they're real or not. I can tell you he gave classified information. He's not supposed to be doing that. He made a big mistake. He took it out of classified information. No, I don't have an opinion on it. I never talk about it. A lot of people do. A lot of people believe it. Do you believe it, Peter?
Well, the president can declassify anything that he wants to, so if you want to make an announcement.
I may get him out of trouble by declassifying.
We know illegal aliens are real.
Yeah, illegal. Only illegals.
Totally illegal. He's talking about classified information. Isn't that what they tried to get Trump on? And here Obama did it. No question that he violated the law. Trump said he broke the law. Turnabout's fair play. You know, here, I'll put this up. Here we go. We got one on the board. Russian collusion hoax, January 6th, Mar-a-Lago, Biden auto pen, 2020 election. Epstein pedophile arrest 1. All the others 0. COVID, Benghazi, Doge findings, Ukraine impeachment hoax. And we got a lot more. This is a partial list. We finally got one on the board. Ha! Here's one of those chicks that was out there just now. You know, the Bible says you shouldn't judge people. Woman tells Jesus at great throne of judgment. Good luck with that, lady. We'll see how that goes for you. I want to play, let's see. Here is a woman at the UN. Whoops. Oh my goodness, come on back. I wonder how much coverage she'll get on mainstream media. Tearing up the Ayatollah's picture. This is a pretty long clip, but I'll play it. We'll see how far we get into it. I didn't listen to the whole thing. We'll listen to most of it.
Thank you so much, everyone. I am supposed to talk only in 3 minutes, but in my country, in 24 hours, they killed 40,000 people in Iran. And I am here at the United Nations while the killers are walking here. I saw them with expensive Gucci bags. I saw them with expensive brands walking here at the United Nations. And this is the right time. UN Watch invited me. I'm very thankful, but I am going to talk the truth. United Nations is a sad joke. Ironically, I was invited by the US government recently to testify at the National Security Council at the United Nations. And I said that the Secretary General of United Nations stand with dictators. Here, I'm going to ask you 3 steps that they took, and I will ask you whether they stand with dictators or with the victims. As Hillel mentioned, this should be the United Nations stand with the victims. 3 steps. First, the Secretary General of United Nations send a congratulation letter to Islamic Republic for the anniversary of this murderous regime. You tell me, do they stand with dictators or the victims? The victims are here, these 2 women. One of them lost her eye. because the Revolutionary Guard shot her in her eye, Kosar. One of them carried a bullet on her arm, Sima. Do they stand with them? No, we have only 3 minutes. But the killers have everything here. Second step, Afsaneh Nadipur. How ironic. Now she's in charge. The woman who was in charge to oppress women in my country now is in charge to monitor women's rights globally. This is not an insult to Iranian. This is an insult to all of you living in democratic countries. This is a slap on your face because they are in charge to make sure that your human rights, your basic rights, is being respected by your government. A representative from a murderous regime is in charge to take care of you all in Europe. And third, they invited Araghchi, thanks to the UN, thanks to the, can I show the signature? Thanks to, 300,000 signature, ordinary people, they canceled Araghchi, but instead, they invite this person, Gharibabadi, who actually in the negotiation table with the United States of America in the West stole the pen. This is the character, low-class killers. And now, 7 days. In 7 days, he is going to give a talk at the United Nations. I want Geneva to hear the voice of Iranians. Right now, after killing 40,000 people, they are storming to hospitals. They're finishing off the injured ones. They're arresting doctors and nurses. They put the political prisoners on the death row. They're executing them. I want to ask Geneva to host a peace conference. Invite the opposition from Iran. Invite the leaders of Europe. Invite the leaders from European country and free world here to talk about an Iran without the Islamic Republic. I know my time is over, 3 minutes, but I'm going to show you something.
I believe this is the woman. I'm going to check into it. I believe this was the woman who was on American soil that the Iranians sent a hit squad to kidnap her, and they failed. And then they tried to assassinate her on American soil. One operative was arrested and is in jail right now. And they were based in Caracas with the sanctioning of the Maduro government. This is one of the things that led up to the raid, the attempts on her life that got Maduro ousted. I just wanted to bring that out. I'm pretty sure she's the same lady.
Okay, the West waited too long. That doesn't call you Islamophobic if you treat ISIS the way that deserve to be. Yes. And the West waited too long. Too long. When I was fighting against compulsory hijab, they were like, oh, this is Islamophobic. Oh no, we have to respect others' culture. All the female politicians from West, they went to my country, they bowed the compulsory hijab from Sweden, Netherlands, Germany, France, from everywhere, high representative of Europe. They waited too long until Mahsa Amini got killed. Suddenly, they realized, oh, this is not their culture. They started to cut their hair to show their solidarity with us. Stop cutting your hair. Cut your ties with our killers. And second, they waited too long to designate Revolutionary Guards as a terrorist organization. After 7 years, after America did that, suddenly, 7 years later, they decided to designate Revolutionary Guards as a terrorist organization. Shame. 7 years, waited, and now 40,000 people have been killed. Now the time has come to understand. Don't wait that long. They call this reformist. That's why they keep the doors of diplomacy open when it comes to Rouhani. He killed 1,500 people. You call them reformist, we call them killer. Pezeshkian, he is not reformist. Under his regime, 40,000 people have been killed. When I see my sister standing here, my sister with bullets in their body, being blinded standing here, I feel ashamed that I am alive. I don't carry the bullet. How come Europeans do not feel ashamed by calling these people reformists? They are ISIS. Kick them out from your country and stand with the victims, not dictators. I know I had only 3 minutes. I'm gonna leave Geneva forever. You can kick me out forever, but I couldn't keep silent because I feel the guilt on my shoulder. I don't know how to save my people with empty hand. I cannot sometimes sleep. I cannot breathe. I cannot even eat because I feel guilty. I cannot believe how come the leaders of European countries do not feel guilty by shaking the hand of those Islamic Republic officials full of blood. Shame on you. And thank you so much, UN Watch.
Well, they better let her speak over 3 minutes because probably because Donald Trump said so. And she's calling them out. She called them a bunch of hypocrites, and that's what they are. So the UN is on thin ice. Thin ice. You know, what do we talk about with the kids protesting? Schools letting kids get out and protest. Well, guess what happened? One of them got hit by a car. How many lawsuits do you think are going to be flying around? And they should be flying around.
A student participating in a walkout at Palm Beach Lakes High School was hit by a car along North Military Trail. That child was rushed to the hospital and is expected to be okay.
And as tensions flared up, separate protest sites across our area, cameras capturing two people here, a man and a woman, appears to be maybe a student, struggling with police as officers tried to control the growing crowd.
There'll be more getting hurt, more getting in fights, more getting hit by cars, more of them throwing rocks at vehicles. Oh, but here's J.B. Pritzker. He's trying to weasel his way out of some of the things they've said about Donald Trump. But as Citizens Free Press said, the internet's forever. Doesn't matter what you say right now.
I haven't suggested that Donald Trump is Hitler. I wouldn't say
I don't
that
think any Democrat has.
Pritzker saying, I don't believe we ever called Trump Hitler, inciting violence. Whoa. There we go. Let's see. Let's see what this one is. Let's see. Oh, this is where somebody's calling for the release of a pilot jailed in Guinea. How long do you think it's going to take Donald Trump to resolve this?
I mean, this has been over a month. We're scared.
Mr. Trump, can you please come down here and get us out of here?
Two pilots, including one from New Jersey, jailed in a West African country for almost 6 weeks.
And they tell CBS News New York that it happened when they landed to refuel. Christine Sloan spoke with the two men on the phone.
Ewing resident Fabio Espinal Nunez has years of experience as a pilot, but the 33-year-old tells us nothing could prepare him for the terrifying ordeal around 6 weeks ago when the Republic of Guinea military forced its way on the plane he and co-pilot Brad Schlenker had landed in the West African nation in order to refuel.
There were around 100 army people, and they were pointing AK-47s at us and talking in French, which we do not know. More like screaming in French.
Nunez and Schlenker speaking to us on the phone from the prison they're being held in Guinea, describing what sounds like a scene out of a movie.
Around 4 to 5 heavily armored vehicles pointing guns at us and saying that we need to go to the ground.
We've got the transcripts of the radio transmissions, all clearly revealing the fact that we were innocent and ambushed.
Nunez was flying a Brazilian family from Suriname to Dubai on a private plane. The flight log given to us shows they had clearance to land, but the government charging them with violating Ghanaian airspace.
The military has taken over the government there. And for whatever reason, the civil government is allowing their release and the military is.
Well, they might get their little dose of whatever that secret weapon is we've got. We'll see how that turns out. I think it'll end fairly quickly. Let's see what's going on in the chats. Who did I miss? Hi, Felix. How you doing? Yeah. Tina Peters. Yeah. Hi, Pamela. Nice to see you. I don't want to be on pins and needles all the way to the State of the Union, but I'm really interested in watching that State of the Union. That's for sure. Here's some good news. Children's, Minnesota, University of Utah, all these hospitals ending youth transgender surgery.
Minnesota Hospital, University of Utah, also some ones out there in Chicago as well, like Lurie's Children's Hospital. So they've either paused or canceled gender-affirming care. Dr. Ira Savetsky, who trained at NYU, was on Fox today. She tells us that doctors have to follow the evidence, not this pressure. Listen.
I can only imagine what the parents were going through. I mean, they're told that their child is going to kill themselves if they don't have these surgeries. You know, they're pressured, and what are you supposed to do? You drop everything to do the right thing for your child. As physicians, we're supposed to follow evidence-based medicine, and so much of the data did not show that what we're doing was the right thing.
And he knows it better than anyone because he trained there. So the changes come, though, after President Trump cracked down on this. He signed an executive order last year, you remember that, warning hospitals you could lose your federal funding if you keep doing this. But here in Deep Blue, New York Attorney General Letitia James has said that hospitals have to follow the law, not the president. And New York City Mayor Zoran Mamdani campaigned on the promise to give, listen to this, $65 million in our taxpayer money to public providers that help trans New Yorkers, including minors. So neither has responded to our request this morning about Langone ending its trans youth health program, but we'll keep an eye on it. The NYCLU isn't happy. They say they're disturbed by the decision there from this hospital, but Langone says it's going to offer the mental health and supportive services for the trans youth, just not all the other stuff that comes with it. So we'll see what happens next.
Exactly. Thanks, Alexis.
So Letitia James said New York law, and they're going to give $65 million, they say, for them to continue this barbaric practice. That's why they say the military is the only way. You can't have a civilian law that excuses or allows this type of psychological, physical abuse of children and experimental practices on children. It's criminal. It's criminal. It should be a forget funding. Just go in there and arrest them. Go in there and arrest them. But that's why I say the military is the only way. Why the hell they're walking free? I got no idea. Mom Dami. Here's another report about Mom Dami. Here's what they're going to be doing with taxpayer money.
Equity, $4.6 million, Commission on Racial Equity, $835,000, Commission on Gender Equity, $260,000 for Department of Education, Chief Diversity Officer, $301,000 for 3 FDNY Civilian Chief Diversity Inclusion Officers. There's a title for you. And $118,000 for an FDNY Chief Diversity Inclusion Officers. Is that necessary stuff? You can't cut that back?
Plus 60-some million for transgender surgeries. How can we allow this? How can we allow this? Where's that report I had a while back? About 4 days ago. with Mom Dami, you hear that there are people calling for dogs to be euthanized. Again, it's Christine Aguaya, the King of Morocco. Now, Mom Dami started echoing this same theme. Here he is, the King of Morocco. Here he is. Real nice guy. Ordered the elimination of all dogs ahead of 2030 World Cup, according to animal welfare advocates. Reports show that methods being used on the dogs are shooting, poisoning, burning alive, drowning in cages. Allegations of state transaction massacre of stray dogs in Morocco are growing louder as the North African kingdom gets ready to co-host the 2030 FIFA Cup in Spain and Portugal. Animal welfare advocates. You know, I don't like this, but they get more upset over it than they do those shipping containers full of little human beings. I don't like what they're talking about here, doing with dogs. But hey, that is the way it goes when you have the call to prayer at 5 a.m. publicly so loud you can't sleep, and 5 times a day. And then they decide we don't want dogs. Watch what happens in New York. Animal welfare advocates say authorities are systematically deleting up to 3 million stray animals through cruel methods to make their country look good for visitors from other countries. However, there's a discrepancy as to who ordered the culling, with some question as to whether it's local officials. Let me see. I hope I didn't get these scrambled up. Local officials or the king himself. According to records, King Mohammed issued a 2019 directive to stop the killings and adopt humane alternatives. A pledge that some say are being ignored by local officials. Others say the king issued the cull, going back to his previous directive. Reports of the widespread dog eliminations increased in 2024-2025, at the same time Morocco's successful bid to host the World Cup matches. Critics say the deleting of innocent animals is driven by a desire to clean up the streets for tourists and athletes, hiding their public health concerns like rabies. Morocco reports about 100,000 dog bites a year, oh my, with 40% affecting children under 15 and 22 to 28 rabies deaths each year. Sounds like they got a problem people learning how to take care of an animal. A lot of feral dogs, I guess. Experts say there's a crisis, but it does not justify the brutality. Critics say it's an example of the failure of international bodies like FIFA and the United States. So hold on, let me get the rest of the article here. United Nations to hold host nations to ethical standards, allowing cultural attitudes toward dogs to result in the torture of animals. Muslims believe dogs are unclean and should not be indoor pets. Watch what happens in New York. Facts from credible accounts. Armed men use rifles or shotguns to delete dogs in the street. Ammunition orders reaching 1,000 rounds in single cities. Wounded animals left to suffer or dumped in mass graves. Strychnine-laced bait, which is poison, is gathered in public areas, causing agonizing deaths through seizures, suffocation, or heart failure that can last up to 7 hours. They're starved in overcrowded cages for days before being set on fire while still alive. I'm not going to say that's going to happen in New York. But in Minnesota, there's areas where you can get beat up for having a bacon sandwich. Clamping by the neck with forceps or metal wires, dragging in the vans or trucks, sometimes breaking limbs, stabbings evidenced by neck wounds, and dumping puppies in trash. Moroccan officials deny deleting the dogs because of the World Cup, saying they are focused on rabies prevention. However, animal groups say the funds are being misused on fake centers, serving as death traps for dogs starve or cannibalize each other. A proposed draft law 2025 would criminalize feeding strays, imposing fines or jail time, while vaguely allowing authorities to end dangers without humane guidelines, leading men to claim it's greenlighting even more killing. I've had that report, but I didn't get to put it up because there is a controversy where Mamdani has discussed their displeasure with people having dogs as pets. Here's one woman that shouldn't have a dog for a pet. How would you like to have a little dog like that? Look at him. Woman arrested for abandoning dog at Las Vegas airport.
Actually, I'm going to put my bags down because I'm exhausted.
No, what we're going to do is we're going to walk you back to where your dog's at, and then when you get issue a citation because you left your dog at the ticket counter.
Well, I was trying to rebook my flight.
So you walked out here to rebook your flight?
Yes.
And left your dog there?
Tell me at the counter because
To walk out here without your dog?
I don't know why they blurred out her face, but she got arrested for animal abandonment. And she thought, well, it's got a chip inside of it that somebody will return the dog to me when I get back home. She didn't have any concern for, just somebody else's responsibility. She's going to go on her trip and leave her dog behind. Here's a repost from Trump. He put this up a few days ago, and he put it up again today. We are going to have the Save America Act one way or the other after approval by Congress through very proper use of the filibuster, or at a minimum by a talking filibuster a la Mr. Smith Goes to Washington. Save America Act. All voters must show voter ID identification. All voters must show proof of citizenship in order to vote. No mail-in ballots, except for illness, disability, or military travel. So, he's saying one way or the other after approval by Congress through the very proper use of the filibuster, or at a very proper use of the filibuster, or at a minimum by a talking filibuster. That's the proper use. I'm kind of curious about that post, but anyway, he also put this up, which is a 80-20 or 90-10 position. I only want Americans to vote in American elections. So, do you think this will be taken care of before the State of the Union? Or will it have to be brought up during the State of the Union? There's Trump again. When he went to Georgia to rub it in their face that he's a free man, not only that, he's the president of the United States, and that state is being gone through with a fine-tooth comb, and there's a lot of corruption. They sued to get the ballots returned that were seized during a raid and the judge said that their lawsuit had criminal intent. The lawsuit was invalid because they filed it with criminal intent. Remember those words, folks. So Trump said just left Coosa Steel Plant in Rome, Georgia, which is now working 24 hours around the clock, after it was down to just 1 hour a year ago. It's like that up and down throughout the country. Companies are thriving because of tariffs. The United States of America has taken in hundreds of billions of dollars and quadrupled at least national security as a result of the economy-saving tariffs. So another message to the Supreme Court. Here's Trump. He went to a McDonald's. And let's see. Which one to play first? Let's do this one. Here's one. Let's see. This might be him at the plant. Let's see.
Told them no tax on tips. Yes. No tax on overtime. Did that matter? Yes. Yes. She's worked here for almost 50 years. Yes. She paid tax for all those years of those tips, right? Religious stuff. I appreciate it. But not anymore. No more tax on tips. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Did you notice that purple tie? Did you notice that purple tie? You know, I go to McDonald's or any fast food place. I'll give them a little bit of money. I'll say, and remember, I hand them a couple bucks. I say, give this to your grandkids. And remember, no tax on tips. Anyway, here he is again. What in the world?
45 years. 24 years. You're too young for that. Come on, wait. I'll get on. Let's get a good one. My president right there. Come on. Lord of the cash register.
Yeah, he's talking to one guy. I think he said he been working there. Somebody said they were working there 45 years, and another one said they were working there 50 years. Man, I think this is one of them. Let's see, it's the last clip I got of him going to the McDonald's. This was before his speech at the steel plant.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Mr. Joe Bailey's been here 50 years.
50 years, huh?
I met him when I was 6. I started when I was 16. I met Joe Bailey.
It just works. It just works.
Yes.
Very nice, Joe. I'll remember that. Have a good time, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, but anyway, he was wearing that purple tie prominently 2 days in a row. I don't know how many times Donald Trump has worn a same color tie 2 days in a row. But obviously, it's a point of celebration because this person had got a lot of, as Ricky Ricardo used to say, splaining to do. So we shall see what happens with him. But anyway, let's see what else we got here. Okay, we got a nice young lady right here. Isn't that nice? We get to see a nice, not a crazy purple-haired lunatic woman. Somebody normal, I guess. We'll see. We'll see. I'll play it. I haven't heard, but I heard what I saw on Citizen Free Press about what she had to say was well done. So we shall see together. So anyway, folks, what do I always say? I say thank you for spending your precious time with me. And I appreciate Wayne going to buy me a coffee and Mike and Bev for helping out this week. I should have said that much earlier in the broadcast, but like I say, trying to keep everything together and put on this presentation by yourself is tough. So I'll even forget to say, give me a thumbs up, and I hope you all did give me a thumbs up. But anyway, folks, once again, thank you for spending your precious time with me. Enjoy this video, what this nice young lady has to say. I should be going live tomorrow night. Okay, folks? If you're subscribed, you'll know when I go live. So make sure you do that if you haven't. So anyway, enjoy this video. Y'all have a great night. This is Mountain Man, over and out.
Congrats, you two. Can I see your ID to get married? Sure. Cool. Now can I see your ID for the marriage certificate? Absolutely. Oh, you changed your last name. Okay, I'll need your ID and marriage certificate to update your social security record. No problem. We're gonna need your ID to update your driver's license or state ID. Got it. Your passport needs to match your legal name. Can I see your ID? Yep. We're gonna need to verify your identity to update your bank account and verify new cards. Yeah, here's my ID. Can I see your ID before you board the plane? Yep. I'm gonna need to see your ID for controlled medication. Can I see your ID to make changes to your account? Can I see your ID to vote?
What did you say? That's sexist. How dare you?
I'm sorry, but didn't you just literally use it 12 times today? I have to show my ID to get married, change my legal name, update social security card, get a new driver's license, update my passport, fly on a plane, open and manage bank accounts, get prescriptions, verify my age, sign legal documents. But I'm sorry, voting is just where I draw the line. Do you hear yourself?